Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mustang Arena for opening night of Season 15 as the Mustangs host the Evans Trojans in game number 1 of the regular season. My name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, and I am joined for the 15th season in a row by Mr. Neil Fisher of the Apopka Chief, and we'll be taking you through tonight's contest.
Yeah, thanks again, Mark, and glad to be back here. Of course, as you mentioned, opening match of the 2021 season, and this season it's going to be all about the same team returning. Only 3 new players on this team, 9 returning from last season. So as you could say, using the old cliche, they went through their trials and tribulations last season. This should be a much better team this year. They should be much more efficient. They should be much more, and of course they are also a year bigger physically.
Absolutely, Neil. And so both of these teams struggled last season to really get any momentum. Last season was, of course, last season was a very abbreviated season. It started 4 weeks late, and it was not extended to make up for that. And so as a result of that now, Evans, I think, only played 5 games last year. Wekiva was able to make up some more of those simply because they played in a tournament and they really hustled to get some extra games added to their schedule in that short, I think it was just over 4 weeks was the length of the season.
Yeah, some teams, like you said, I think really we saw the 2 different approaches from both teams last season. Evans was the team that just played a few games, a handful of games, and hoped that when the postseason rolled around, they would be fresh, ready to go. Wekiva, on the other hand, played a blitzkrieg schedule, 16 matches in 4 weeks, as you mentioned, Mark. Of course, a number of those, I would probably say half of them, were made up in 2 different tournaments. So not only was it blitzkrieg, when you look at the fact that you were playing 4 matches, an average of 4 matches each week, but you were playing 2 or 3 matches on one specific day during the weekend. So as we get ready tonight, of course, sit back. First game of the season, you always have a number of questions that need to be answered. But in particular, as we get ready for this season, we're going to have probably quite a few more have an even bigger effect getting those answers as soon as possible. So Wekiva once again, as we are just seconds away from Mark. You, of course, doing our pregame festivities centered around the Star-Spangled Banner. Wekiva with 9 players returning from last season. 3 are new to this team. However, we'll be talking a lot about Eliza Calvo Garcia, 5 foot 6 inches, defensive specialist and setter. She's a senior, and so she actually is not new to Varsity. She is a student at Orlando Science Charter.
All right, Neil, let's bring in the fans here in the arena and get things started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mustang Arena for the first time of Season 15. As we get ready to start the Mustang volleyball season, please welcome our guests from Evans High School. They are the Trojans. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Let's meet the teams. We'll begin with our guests from Evans, and we'll start their rotation serving first, their reserves. Number 6, Liliana Maroney. Number 13, Mackenzie Riggins. Number 15, Sierra Thomas. Number 10, Zaria Nelson. And number 1, Jenny Cheriskar. Starting on the court for the Trojans, Serving first is sophomore setter, number 14, Michaela Oates. Second in the rotation
For the Trojans, sophomore right side hitter, number 11, Shannane Sutton. Third in the rotation for the Trojans, junior middle blocker, number 12, Alicia Boyer. Serving fourth in the rotation for Evans, junior setter, number 3, Dania Jackson. Serving fifth for Evans, junior outside hitter, number 7, Esther Desroche. And finally, sixth in the rotation for the Trojans, senior defensive specialist, number 2, Kalia Moore. The head coach of the Trojans, Janelle Goodwin, and assistant coach Brown. And now, let's meet your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting with their reserves, number 2, Madeline Holmes. Number 6, Linnea Preston. Number 8, Eliza Calvo Garcia. And number 10, Juliet Rodriguez. The starting libero for the Mustangs, 5'3" senior, number 4, Jenna J-Pack. And starting on the court, serving first, 5'3" junior setter and defensive specialist, number 3, Molly Turfus. Second in the rotation for the Mustangs, 5'4" junior outside hitter, number 5, Dania Jackson. Third in the rotation for the Mustangs, 5'8" senior middle and right side hitter, number 7, Abiana Hall. Serving fourth for Wekiva, 5'6" senior defensive specialist and setter, number 1, Emily Harris. In the 5 spot of the rotation for the Mustangs, 5'7" senior defensive specialist and outside hitter, number 14, Cassidy Palmer. And finally for the Mustangs, serving sixth, 5'5" senior right side and middle hitter, number 0, Chastity Rosario. The head coach of the Mustangs is Heather Lorenz. And assistant coach Talon Allard. The officials for tonight's game are from the Florida Professional Officials Association here in Orlando. They are Mr. Dan Heacock and Mr. Robert Muller. We thank them for their dedicated service to our high school athletic programs and join them along with our participating schools, reminding everyone to make great sportsmanship a part of this and every athletic competition. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please stand and remove your hats as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Tonight's game is being live streamed on YouTube as well as the NFHS network. If you have friends and family who are not able to join us in person tonight and you're here in the arena, send them a message right now on text or Facebook or however you need to get in touch with them and let them know that they can tune in from the other side of Orlando, elsewhere in Apopka, or anywhere in the world. It's on YouTube, channel Wekiva Sports, or on the NFHS network.
So that voice that you just heard singing the Star Spangled Banner, none other than Mark. And so the teams have done their final warm-ups, their final preparations, their final circle, their final chair, and we are ready to go, waiting for the officials. Whistle. Tonight's officials, Dan Heacock and Robert Mueller. Once again, Wekiva Mustangs volleyball. Opening match for both of these teams, the Evans Trojans in white. Wekiva, of course, in their familiar blue with the gold numbers. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi on the call. And handling the video aspect of this broadcast is the Wekiva Broadcast Production Department, headed up by Keith Dickinson. So sit back, enjoy, and as we mentioned in the pregame, and our pregame show, Wekiva comes in, a team looking to rebound from last season, only 2 victories. But they were a very young team this time, the complete opposite, 9 returning players. And they picked up a transfer, Eliza Calvo Garcia from Orlando Science Charter.
The Trojans have the opening service of set number 1, leading their rotation, number 14, Michaela Oates.
So Oates the setter, sophomore, and here we go, 2021 season for Wekiva volleyball underway, and unfortunately, not the way we want to go there. A nice serve for Oates.
Yeah, and that's the ball handling. She won't get credit for an ace for that because that was actually handled on the serve receive cleanly. It was a ball handling error by Wekiva that will put Evans on the board first.
Oates with her second serve. Handled by Palmer. The third hit taken by Hall. Nice, easy, taking it over. From the right side, some power. And JPEC unable to handle the...
And you can hear the Trojans brought the peanut gallery with them tonight. Some of those may be JV players. Evans is still working out their roster, and so there was no JV contests tonight. But they are planning on fielding a team later this season for JV. And, of course, they have some of their fans in the audience as well. You can probably hear them in the background. Mustangs need to turn the momentum around here, and they nearly do it. Did that stay inside the antenna? Yes, it did. Yes, Mustangs kill by number 5.
Dan Heacock signaling Wekiva gets its first points, not only of this match, but of the season. And your first server for Wekiva.
And the ruling is overturned as the ball struck the antenna. And so that will be service to the Trojans.
Okay, so 3-0.
That's what I thought I saw. Now, I have the worst angle in the whole arena from where I'm sitting, but actually, it sure did look like that antenna wiggled.
Well, actually, I think we both do because, unfortunately, umpire Mueller is standing right in front of us. He's not doing it intentionally, of course. Palmer will handle that return. Up at the line, JPEC, does not matter. I believe we have a net violation.
Mustangs are calling
into this match. Oates serving first. We'll have a timeout. Sutton second, Boyer third, Jones fourth, Desroach fifth, and Moore sixth. And we will have the Wekiva. Neil, welcome back to Mustang Arena. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi on the call. Evans with Michaela Oates serving has broken out to a 4-0 lead. First 4 points of the 2021 season, a low serve, but it was efficient. 5-0. Evans.
Ace for number 14, Michaela Oates.
So Wekiva starters as Oates goes back to serve. We'll get that in a minute. Oates going for a 6th consecutive point, and she will get it on the ace. Palmer unable to handle that serve. Wekiva starters, Molly Durfus, Dania Jackson, Abiana Hall, Emily Harris, Cassidy Palmer, and Chastity Rosario as Oates goes back to work. She keeps going to Palmer. I don't think Palmer's yet. A serve has gone away from Palmer. In the meantime, Evans doing a nice job of setting up. And their first mistake of the game, much needed point by Wekiva.
Side out service to the Mustangs for the first time in the first set, leading the rotation for Wekiva, number 3, Molly Durfus.
So Durfus will step up, see if she can turn 1 point into a streak of points here for Wekiva. They trail 6-1. Certainly Evans is broken out with the momentum. Some excellent location of the ball. Durfus, a bit of a surprise as the number 1 server. She was on the JV last year, 5'3", taking over the setter position. She's a junior, and she goes to work. At the line, and Oates unable to get that ball over the net. So Wekiva 2 in a row. See if they can, again, turn a couple of points into a significant streak here. Wekiva in a 5-1. Durfus will low serve to the side, and it's effective. Jones unable to handle the set. So Wekiva is finding its setting, its footing, after falling behind. So Durfus goes back to work, the junior setter. Not as efficient as the last one, but still does the job. Palmer over on the left, the kill. And long.
It stays in, yes.
It is in.
Mustang kill by number 5, Dania Jackson.
So Dania Jackson with her first kill.
Yeah, remember, she was the one that almost got the kill before, except that it went in, it hit that antenna.
Yes. And that allowed Evans to get a couple more points.
So now it's been a game of streaks. A 6-0 run for Evans to start, and now a 4-0 run for Wekiva. Good-looking serve there.
Oh, save. Well, no, it's not a save. Gus Roach, A for effort. Unfortunately, just unable to get that ball back.
Yeah, that was a rough pass there. The serve receive was okay, but the set was just not tenable.
So now Wekiva with an opportunity to tie this game up. 6 consecutive points, and they will be successful.
Molly Durfus with a Mustang ace. And we'll pause for a Trojan timeout. The first timeout of the first set for Evans. So we'll be right back. This one.
And welcome back to Mustang Arena. An interesting game, Mark, as we begin the 2021 season for volleyball. We are tied at 6-6, both teams scoring 6 consecutive points. Evans breaking out with the first 6. Wekiva has answered with 6. And this is Molly Durfus on the serve for Wekiva. She's been a very efficient server. The third hit for Evans. And Wekiva takes its first lead of the 2021 season, 7 in a row now.
An attack error there by Esther Desroche, and so that's an unearned point for the Mustangs, but they'll take it any way they can get it.
So the story this year for Wekiva is 9 returning players, and they also picked up a player from Orlando Science Charter. They do not have a club team, as the score is now 8-6.
Molly Durfus picks up her third ace of the evening.
As you just heard Mark, that's Mark Barchi. He also handles the public address announcing duties. As he just said, 3 out of the 8 serves from Durfus.
And there actually, I believe, was 1, maybe 2 more that were not aces per se, but they were also not returned.
So Molly Durfus, one of only 3 players who were not on this team last year for Wekiva. She was on the JV team, but you certainly can see why she was brought up this season to the varsity level as a junior. She's also the setter.
Checking into the game for Evans, number 1, Jenny Cheriskar.
And to be honest, so far, Durfus has been very much like a pitcher helping his or her own cause. I guess say the volleyball equivalent. That was Jones, the setter. She did what she was supposed to, but there was nobody home for Evans on the right side. 9-3 Wekiva.
So that's another one that will not go in the stats as an ace for Durfus, but is nevertheless an unreturned serve. Checking into the game for Evans, number 10, Zaria Nelson.
So, again, Durfus helping her own cause, just like you hear the old cliche in baseball about a pitcher. She is the setter for this team, taking over that position. However, she has not had to do any setting during this 9 consecutive point streak. So the whistle, Durfus goes back to work, looking for a 10. Service over into the middle. Evans rotating well on this point. That's Palmer in the back. Over to the middle, the set, the kill. Nice save by Oates.
That was almost a free ball. Single hit attack, and it's going to go, yes. Molly Durfus with a solo kill for the Mustangs. So that was a bit of a mental lapse there by Evans. That was a very returnable attack, but Molly Durfus just caught them napping. They were not expecting that ball to come over on the first touch. That's exactly what Durfus was counting on.
It took advantage of it, and now she will go back to work.
An anemic strike there from number 2. That was Kalia Moore. And that'll be an attack error into the net. The Mustangs continue their streak. Again, Evans opened up, if you're just joining us, Evans opened with a 6-0 run, and Wekiva has held the service ever since, going 11 unanswered points.
Yeah, Molly Durfus serving all 11 of those points.
Nice serve here, a very rough service return.
Palmer.
And Evans settles for a free ball coming back.
And Hall with the touch.
Did she keep it in? Yes, she did.
Yeah, Hall dumps that ball about half an inch in bounds.
Abiana Hall with the Mustang skill.
So Wekiva, once they got that first point, they've been on a roll. They're looking to rebound from a 2-win season last season. This is Durfus continues that serve. 12 consecutive points. Evans with the return.
Oh, that was an unforced error there. Yeah, Durfus and Cassidy Palmer got tangled up with each other. Neither one of them could get there. Side out, service back to the Trojans.
So we've mentioned several times that Durfus is a setter. That's like a quarterback in volleyball. She's the one who, as the position says, sets the ball for the outside hitters.
Checking into the game for the Trojans, number 11, Shannane Sutton. And she'll have the next service.
Palmer, who Durfus got tangled up with, as Mark alluded to, is a defensive specialist. And unfortunately, a mental mistake by both of them. Nobody called that out. In the meantime, Sutton goes to work on the service for Evans. And Harris.
Yeah, Harris just didn't get enough height there. She needed to jump a little higher than that.
Yeah, mental mistake by Emily Harris. She's a 4-year starter for Wekiva, and that's a very rare mistake on her half. 12-8 Wekiva. Sutton back to work. The set. And the kill, just not the right positioning for Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson had no chance of getting there, not with that angle.
Again, mistake by Wekiva on both ends. So Sutton will be serving. Evans down 12-9 in the white. Palmer with the dig, and unfortunately a little too much power that cuts the lead to 12-10.
Shannane Sutton picks up the Trojan ace.
So Wekiva, a team with 9 returning players, 10 players with experience at the varsity level. As Sutton serves. And Hall, the nice soft touch.
Aviana Hall with a tip kill for the Mustangs. That's her second kill tonight. Side outs to Wekiva. Next in the rotation for the Mustangs will be number 5, Dania Jackson. But first, checking into the game for Wekiva, number 10, Juliet Rodriguez.
So Rodriguez, the 5'6" outside hitter, senior, returns to seize her first action. 13-10 the score as Jackson goes to work, the number 2 server. It's been a game of runs. Slapped from the middle there by Boyer. J. Peck handling it. Not a great serve, and that just threw everything off. J. Peck was unable to get positioned under that ball and sent it off on the wrong angle out of bounds.
Service returns to the Trojans.
So,
yeah, keep in mind that it is legal to play a ball that has played pinball on the ceiling as long as it stays on the same side of the net. You cannot cross the net by touching the ceiling. You can play it on the same side. In that case, it didn't matter, though, because Wekiva was not able to get it across. Checking into the game for the Trojans, number 6, Liliana Maroney.
So Maroney, a junior defensive specialist, and she will serve. Evans opening up with 6 consecutive points. That's Rodriguez, who just came into the game with the dig. Another dig on the other end by Oates, and that will pay dividends.
Trojan kill by Shannane Sutton.
So Evans, after Evans scored 6 consecutive points to start the game, Wekiva roared back, putting together 12 consecutive. And Evans has scored 6 of the last 7, and that leaves us 13-12 in favor of Wekiva. And Wekiva will get a break.
Yeah, service error there, just bad timing. Nothing you can do about that.
Service returns to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation for Wekiva, number 7, Aviana Hall.
So as Hall gets ready to serve, and unfortunately she will return the favor.
Service back now to the Trojans. Next in their rotation, number 3, Nakaya Jones.
Evans in the white, serving the ball. Jones, as Mark just said, the setter, junior setter, will serve. These are 2 teams, Evans and Wekiva, not known as Wekiva. Oh, catch another break. Service error, 16-13.
Service back to the Mustangs. Checking into the game for Wekiva, number 8, Eliza Calvo Garcia.
So neither of these teams are really known as volleyball powerhouses.
Next to serve for the Mustangs, number 1, Emily Harris.
So certainly a victory tonight would set. You want to get the season set off in the right foot, the right tone. And Wekiva doing a nice job of rotating that ball.
Oh, I thought that was going to be low, and there it was.
It was low. Jones hitting that ball out of bounds. Perhaps he would have been better served letting it hit the ground.
Cassidy Rosario gets the kill.
So 16-13, Wekiva in the lead, looking to up that lead as Garcia goes to work. That'll be on the left side, too long.
Yeah, that was just a bad angle for number 5. That's actually, now that you mentioned, I don't have a number 5.
Well, we're sorry. It's first game of the season, so still making not getting the entire roster. The bottom line, 17-13. And now Evans saves that ball at the net. Harris trying to save low, but 2, not enough height. 16-14.
Kill by Michaela Oates. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, number 2, Madeline Holmes.
So Oates with 1 kill, Sutton with 1 kill, and Jones 1 kill for Evans. As
service back to the Mustangs,
error.
checking into the game for Wekiva, number 14, Cassidy Palmer, and she'll have the next service.
So Cassidy Palmer will serve for the first time this season. The 5'7" defensive specialist, senior, and she is not going to get an ace. but certainly a great setup for Wekiva. A great setup by Palmer, even though she didn't get that ace, forcing Evans out of rotation. So Palmer looking over to Coach Heather Lorenz for directions. And she goes back to work. Gets that ball on the right side, set up by Evans. A little help from the net. Save by Harris.
Mustang kill by Eliza Calvo Garcia.
So Garcia, we've mentioned her a number of times. She was not on the team last year, but does have varsity experience. She's a student at Orlando Science Charter, but OSC does not actually have a volleyball team, so that's why she's playing for Wekiva. And she gets the kill. Now Palmer looking to extend the 20-14 lead from the left side. Sutton. Wekiva hits it back in. At the net, some action. Sutton trying to take advantage. Save.
A nice dig there, but
out of sync. Nice job by Sutton to get Wekiva out of sync.
service back to the Trojans. Next in, or checking into the game for Evans, number 12, Alicia Boyer. And next to serve will be number 2, Kalia Moore.
So Moore, the server, senior defensive specialist. She's the number 6 server, and there are 6 servers, so we'll go back to the top of the lineup, if you will. On the next serve, and that's unfortunately for Evans and Moore, that is a quick one serve. Service error, 21-15. Wekiva.
Next to serve as libero for the Mustangs, number 4, Jenna Japak.
So Japak, the libero, that's a special position which came into effect about 15 years ago in volleyball. She has a nice serve. Wekiva going on the attack. The launch.
Good work there from Jackson, but Trojans have the dig, but then can't get it under control. They settle for a free ball coming back, and a Mustang kill by Abiana Hall.
Hall, that's her 4th or 5th time from the middle of the net. She's just had that beautiful soft touch and found the open space in the middle of the Evans defense.
Yeah, Evans actually had a really nice dig there, but then couldn't make anything out of it as Japak sends it out of bounds on the service error. Service back to the Trojans. Next in the rotation for Evans, number 14, Michaela Oates. And this actually returns them to the top of their rotation. It has been something of a game of streaks, although it has been a little bit more back and forth as of late. To Palmer.
Yeah, Oates began the game on serve and scored 6 consecutive points for Evans.
Mustangs settle for a free ball here. Evans struggles to do anything with it, and Holmes can't get there.
So 2 in a row for Evans. As we mentioned, this has been a game of streaks, but this is the first time in 10 points that Evans has put 2 in a row together. I guess it's no surprise that it's Oates who's doing the serving. And so back to work. That's Hall in the middle for Wekiva. Evans with the return. Hall again, and she's stuffed at the net, but Evans, net violation. Unforced error for Wekiva, 23-17 the lead.
Trojans called into the net, service to the Mustangs. Emily Harris returns to the game for Wekiva, as does Molly Durfus. And the Mustangs now also return to the top of their rotation with Molly Durfus. So you remember, Neil, this was where the Mustangs had their big run in the last rotation. We'll see if they can.
In a row.
Of course, they only need 2 more, so it's not going to be that long of a streak this time, no matter what.
Yeah, Durfus, who is playing her first game at the varsity level, looking to close out set 1 for Wekiva. She was on the JV team last year, and she was extremely efficient in her 12-point run. And she will again.
Set point. Wekiva. Attack error there, and Neil, I'm not keeping the stats on this here at the table, but I have a feeling that neither team would be particularly happy if they looked at their unearned points.
Yeah, both have over 6. Durfus with 3 aces, by the way. And she's looking to close out set 1 with a victory for Wekiva, and she gets it. An unforced error into the net 25-17, Wekiva taking set one of the first match of 2021.
That takes us to the end of set number one. It's a 25-17 win for the Mustangs in the first set, and they take a 1-0 lead for the match over the Trojans. We'll be right back.
Mustang Arena, the site of the opener for the 2021 season between the Evans Trojans and Wekiva Mustangs. We are getting ready to start set two. Wekiva taking the first set, a 25-17 score. Evans actually broke out to a 6-0 lead behind the serving of Michaela Oates, but Wekiva then broke that streak. Molly Durfus, the first-year varsity player, moving up from JV on the serve, scoring 12 consecutive points, and as they say, the rest was history. Wekiva scoring 25 of the last 36 points to take set one. I'm Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi. Also on the call in the broadcast production department, headed up by Keith Dickinson, handling the video aspects of this broadcast. Again, thank you for joining us as we get ready to start set two. Wekiva looking to rebound from a 2-win season last year. Of course, as we mentioned, they took 25 of 36 points. So certainly looks like they've righted the ship. And their story is really the complete opposite of Evans. Evans, a very young team, only one senior, and only 3 players with any varsity experience. Wekiva, on the other hand, as we mentioned, only won 2 games last season, 2 matches. They only had a handful of players playing varsity for the first time, but this season they have 9 returning starters, 10 with varsity experience, and only 2 newcomers. Of course, Molly Durfus, who was central on the serve for that 12-point streak, is one of those newcomers. So if you do want a newcomer, certainly Molly Durfus has already put her name, made her presence known above Wekiva.
The Mustangs have the opening service of set number 2, leading their rotation. Number 3, Molly Durfus.
So Heather Lawrence, Wekiva's head coach, along the sideline giving instructions, and Maui Durfus will go to work trying to give Wekiva an early lead in set 2. Nice serve.
Yeah, nice work at the net, though, by Evans, and an error at the net, a ball handling error there by Abiana Hall, and side out to the Trojans. First in their rotation this set once again, number 14, Michaela Oates.
Wekiva also with 9 seniors on their team, as well as 10 players with varsity experience. Oates puts the ball in play, and Evans catches a break.
Yeah, it was a good look there by Abiana Hall, just didn't have quite the right angle on it, and Evans is out to a 2-0 start to the second set.
So Oates with 2 aces and 1 kill. And Hall is a name we have mentioned frequently. We've mentioned Durfus probably the most for Wekiva, but Hall is probably 1A. She has a number of very soft touches, which resulted in kills and points for Wekiva, but she has also hit the ball out a couple of times as well. There you just saw that one. So Oates on the serve, and she will not have the same result as she had in set 1, only 1 point.
Yep, service error there by Oates, and side out to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation for Wekiva, number 5, Dania Jackson.
So Jackson dribbling the ball, gets the whistle. Trailing 2-1, that's Wekiva. And make that 3-1 as another service error.
Yep, one good service error deserves another. Service back to the Trojans. Next in their rotation is number 11, Shannane Sutton.
And those service errors back-to-back, each team committing one, was certainly a underlying story in set 1, and that is going to go in. For a minute, it looked like it was going to go out. Wekiva hitting the ball over. Evans looking to set. They're going to go with the kill. Sutton back over to Evans and into the net. 4-1 Evans.
Solo kill there by number 12, Alicia Boyer. The Mustangs request their first timeout of set number 2. Timeout, Mustangs. We'll be right back.
Mustang Arena, the site of the opener for the 2021 season for Evans and Wekiva. Evans with the serve in the white, Wekiva in their blue jerseys with the maroon. And looking at their schedule very quickly, actually we'll do that in a minute. Shannane Sutton, the right side hitter, she puts the ball in play. Oh, hit the ceiling and unable to handle the return. Jackson into the net. So the score now 5-1 in favor of Evans. Wekiva took the first set. And Sutton goes back to work. Hits that ball in the middle. Rodriguez to Durfus.
Did she get it on the right side of the antenna? They're going to say yes, she did.
So that'll cut the lead to 5-2.
Well, he's checking with the line judge.
Yeah, I see Coach Goodwin arguing
and
Evans' case.
Yeah, the line judge is signaling out.
So Evans gets the point, extends the lead to 6-1.
Yeah, Juliet Rodriguez had a good look there, but she was too far outside that antenna, and you saw the official there signaling to the line judge. You got to be real clear about that. Like, don't be subtle with those flag motions.
Shannane Sutton with the serve.
Hey, that'll get it done.
This time, Dania Jackson unable to make the play the previous
Dania
rotation.
Jackson picks up the Mustang kill. Service back to Wekiva. Next in the rotation for the Mustangs to serve as libero, number 4, Jenna J. Pack.
So Jackson this time on this rally, she is able to get the point. Nice soft touch. You heard Mark, Jenna J-Peck serving. And that's going to go over to Wekiva's side.
Battle at the net. Can they get it over? Yes, they do.
So just like the first set, Evans has broken out to a quick lead. Evans actually took a 6-0 lead in set 1. They lead 6-2 in the second set, 7-2. And they will continue to serve. Shannane Sutton, the number 2 server, right-handed hitter.
Liliana Maroney checks into the game for Evans, and she'll have the next service.
So actually, Liliana Maroney will be on the serve, number 6, the defensive specialist. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi on the call tonight. The opener for both Evans and Wekiva. Evans serving in the white jerseys. A soft serve, but efficient, gets the ball in. That's Rodriguez sending it over to Evans. Now they will set the attack from the middle. That's Roach. And Rodriguez takes her turn, saved by Sutton. Over the net.
Yeah, Evans settles for a free ball there. Opportunity for the Mustangs. Rosario long and too long.
So 8-2 the score. As Maroney goes to work, and unfortunately an unforced error.
Side out service to the Mustangs. Returning to the game for Wekiva, number 1, Emily Harris, and she will have the next service.
And once again...
Also checking into the game for Wekiva, number 8, Eliza Calvo Garcia.
So once again, Evans broke out to a 6-0 lead in the first set, and that run ended with an unforced service error. And so Harris making her presence felt low and to the side.
Emily Harris with a Mustang ace.
Harris, the defensive specialist. Wekiva is in their 4th server of the rotation. There's 6 in total. As Harris puts the ball in play. And the ball will have to be settled. No attack. Wekiva will get attack. It's J-Pack. Success! As Maroney takes the dive but can't send it back over. 8-5 Evans. So Harris scoring 2 points in a row now, looking for a third. Another efficient serve. That's Sutton on the back line. The attack will be taken by Oates. Although it's more just get the ball in, and Wekiva with an unforced error. As you like to say, Mark, contributing to the Evans cause.
Service to the Trojans. Next up, number 3, Nakaya Jones.
Jones puts the ball in play, and too long.
Service back to the Mustangs. Checking into the game for Wekiva, number 14, Cassidy Palmer, and she will have the next service for the Mustangs.
Palmer, 5'7", defensive specialist, a senior, 1 of 9 on this team. And she goes to work, a nice serve, low. And the attack will be taken by Jackson.
Yeah, Dania Jackson put a little too much mustard on that one. Yep.
So Evans continues to lead 10-6.
Service back to Evans. Next in the rotation for the Trojans, number 7, Esther Desroche.
Evans with the only real significant run, scoring 4 of the first 5 points. As Harris sets the ball up. This is Palmer, who just came in and served.
And yeah, Mustangs run out of hits there. Just bad communication and situational awareness. And a free point to Evans.
Although Evans has not put together any significant runs since the beginning when they went up 4-5, they have managed to keep the lead at 5 points, make that 6 now. As Wekiva has made a number of errors here in the second set. So Dania Jackson leading Evans with 2 kills, she has 2 kills. That's Wekiva. Dania Jackson with 2 kills, Abiana Hall with 3, and 1 for Cassidy Rosario and Eliza Calvo Garcia. So we got a stoppage here And take a look at the schedule. Wekiva will take on Ocoee on Thursday. Next Tuesday, crosstown rival Apopka comes, and then Wekiva hits the road. Forest Lake Academy on September 1st. Lake Buena Vista, one of the two new schools in Orange County Public School, on Thursday, September 2nd. And then they return home against Colonial on Thursday, September 9th. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi on the call. The broadcast production department of Wekiva High School, headed up by Keith Dickinson, handling the video aspects. Evans leading set 2, 12-6. Wekiva 1-0 in the sets. And we go back to work. And Evans will get the benefactor of another unforced error. So Wekiva, a number of long returns, just too much mustard. They certainly need to work that out. And this is Esther Desroche on the serve, outside hitter, junior. JPEC, the libero, sets. And the attempt to kill by Jackson, success.
Mustang kill by number 5, Dania Jackson. Service to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation for Wekiva. Well, there we go. Number 7, Abiana Hall. Yeah, that's one of those libero switch outs that requires a little bit of complex calculus in your head. I'm always impressed that volleyball players manage to pull that off, keeping up with the rotation with the libero in play. And that's just what the doctor ordered for the Mustangs. Hall picks up the Mustang ace and will pause for a timeout. Mustangs request their second timeout of set number 2. And we'll be right back. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs and sports information director here at Wekiva High School, joined by Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, where Wekiva is trying to get back into the second set after controlling the back half of the first set pretty well. And here we have...
that serve does not count.
Yeah, Linnea Preston get a little over-eager there.
Yeah, the refs weren't ready. Our refs tonight, Dan Heacock and Robert Mueller. And this is Linnea Preston.
Yeah, didn't make contact there. Swung a little bit early.
Yeah, that might have been due to nerves. This is not just her first. This is the first time she's ever been on varsity. So. Service
to the Trojans. Checking into the game for Evans, Alicia Boyer, and now serving number 5, Miranda Lewis-Jean. So this will be Lewis-Jean's first serve of the match.
And she gets it in right in the middle.
Yep, Palmer ready to take that one and battle at the net. They're going to give that to the Mustangs as the Trojans are called for a net violation.
That was Garcia for the Mustangs.
Checking into the game for Wekiva, number 3, Molly Durfus. And number 2, Madeline Holmes.
So Wekiva with a 1-0 set lead.
Also in for the Trojan, number 15, Sierra Thomas.
And so Molly Durfus will go to work. She has 3 serves already. And make that 4. Just perfect timing. Gave her the cue, Mark.
Molly Durfus with her 4th service ace of the match.
And that'll cut the lead to 13-9. And Durfus, this time it will be returned. The attack from Jones, handled in the backcourt, and not on the second touch, though.
Service back to the Trojans. Next in the rotation for Evans, number 14, Michaela Oates.
So again, back to the top of the order here.
Yeah, Oates, of course, opened up the match, scoring 6 consecutive points. And again, another efficient serve. This attack by Hall.
Yeah, that was
a little too soft.
Yeah, too low. Didn't put enough oomph behind that one.
Wekiva up 1-0, but they are trailing in set 2, 15-10.
If you're gonna go for attack with that kind of angle, you got to be at least a foot and a half closer to the net than that.
A pounding serve by Oates.
Nice return by Palmer, though, although it will cause the Mustangs to forfeit their chance at an attack. Good block at the net.
Hall.
Aliana Hall with the Mustangs block.
That was Jones for Evans, Hall for Wekiva, and Wekiva wins. And Coach Lorenz lets Hall know. Nice play. Cuts the lead to 15-11.
Checking into the game for the Mustangs, number 10, Juliet Rodriguez. Next to serve, Dania Jackson.
So Jackson with the high lob. All the way back. That's Jean. And now the attack for Evans, not able to really attack. Wekiva will go on the attack. That's Rodriguez.
Oh, they settle for a free ball there. They're lucky that stayed in bounds. And an
they'll
anemic
catch a
attack
second break.
by Oates. That's an error on attack by the Trojans. Mustangs will benefit from it, and they have now closed it to a 3-point set.
Yeah, 15-12, Evans lead. Evans just did not communicate over on the right side of the court there. Had several players, but no one to pass to. And now Jones with the attack. Set up. And too hard by Rodriguez.
Yeah, she sent that one into the next zip code.
Yeah, a little overzealous there.
Service returns to the Trojans. Next in the rotation for Evans, number 11, Shannane Sutton.
Yeah, that's one of those things that, experience will gradually teach you how to control the power on those attacks, particularly when you're a little bit further back from the net like that. And Madeline Holmes off speed there. She swung a little early, and that just deflects right off of her wrist.
So you mentioned experienced Marcus Sutton goes back.
Yeah, that one stays in bounds, handled well by Rodriguez. Mustangs will send it back over.
And the attack by Oates.
Little off speed there.
Jackson
may get it over, and
an assist from the net.
Yeah, you can't give her a kill for that, but that's a...
Well, like they say, Mark, you don't get points for aesthetics. They all count the same, although now we're having discussion.
Yeah, we're going to have a conference.
But I did want to bring up the fact here, Mark, that, you talked about experience. We mentioned several times that Wekiva has 9 players returning from last season's team, and 10 in total have played varsity. But this is really only their second season at the varsity level, so they're much better than they were a year ago, but they still have some learning to do. And we've seen that throughout this set, sometimes not quite being able to get that ball in with the right power. As JPEC goes to the serve, this will be an attack by Evans at the net. It'll be taken by Jackson.
Kill for the Mustangs by number 6, Linnea Preston.
Preston.
So the officials' conference from the previous service, that actually had nothing to do with the action on the court. They were just cautioning one of the fans who was taking photographs to stay a little farther back. So that was indeed Wekiva's point, just like it looked like it was originally. And the Trojans request a timeout, their first timeout of set number 2.
And so that was Linnea Preston's first kill of her varsity career. And when we return, Evans will be holding a 17-14 lead in the second set.
Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi here with Neil Fisher, taking you through this opening contest of Season 15. We are now in our 15th anniversary season here at Wekiva, founded in 2007. And Neil and I have been here for all 14, now going on 15 of those seasons, as we have gotten a little bit more sophisticated in each one, bringing you the Mustang action. Here comes J-Pack, coming back from the timeout, and it looks like she's going to open with an ace.
And that will cut to 15. Evans in the white with that 17-15 lead, but they do trail.
Jenna J-Pack picks up her first ace of the set.
But Evans did drop the first set, 25-17. J-Pack the libero. And she will go 2 in a row. And now that lead is down to 1, 17-16. A powerful ground and pound serve as well.
Back-to-back aces for J-Pack.
So the opener for both teams tonight. Want to get your season off on the right footing.
Durvis with a nice set there. Here comes Preston. It goes straight over to Oates. And an off-speed and bad timing on the attack there by Des Roach. It'll be an attack error. And the Mustangs pick up a free point to tie the set at 17. So this is the first time the Mustangs have gotten it back to even square since the beginning of the set. We'll see if they can take their first lead of the second set on this service. There goes Preston. And they are not able to pull it under control. Preston with the Mustang kill. 18 serving 17 for J-Pack.
And Wekiva has now scored 6 points in a row. Evans actually did break out to an 8-2 lead. So obviously Wekiva's outscored them since then. And now Durfus sets the attack from Rodriguez at the nets, gets it stuffed back into her face. And Evans answers 18-18.
Trojan block by Sierra Thomas.
So Evans showing some life, in particular at the net.
That ties the set once again at 18. Next in the rotation for the Trojans will be Sierra Thomas.
So Evans responds. They took a punch in the mouth there. A 6-point streak by Wekiva. They come back with some hard-fought victory, hard-fought point at the net. Wekiva with the attack. Rodriguez, perfect return as Oates was unable to position herself correctly.
Juliet Rodriguez on the Mustangs kill. Service back to Wekiva.
So Wekiva looking to go up 2-0 in the opener tonight.
Emily Harris checks in to serve for the Mustangs. And Eliza Calvo-Garcia also returns to the game on this service.
The left side.
And that was just a ball handling error on the set there. Nobody had a chance to attack that in any legal manner. And so a free point to the Mustangs. Emily Harris serves again.
Yeah, certainly that's a case of it don't matter how you score, they all count the same. And Evans returns the favor and cuts the lead to 20-19.
Service back to the Trojans. Next up for Evans, number 3.
Micaiah Jones.
Micaiah Jones now serving.
Yeah, she's the setter. Low and long. A tap by Rodriguez. Out of bounds. So again, I mentioned they do have some good experience. Wekiva, that is. They're a much better team because they did get a year of experience. Everybody returning from last season's team. 9 players returning, 10 with Varsity. But they only have 1 full year of experience, and you see it on that last play, and this one as well. Not quite able to get the accuracy down when they need it. And so Evans goes back up 21-20.
And you saw there, Coach Lorenz wanted a timeout, but she's already used both of them for this set. And Preston there just didn't get enough height on it, spikes it right into the net.
Yeah, she took a 90-degree angle, went above the ball instead of under it, and the result was right into the net.
Returning to the game for the Mustangs, number 3, Molly Durfus.
So Durfus comes back in, and Jones goes back to work.
And did she touch the net? Yes, she did. Trojans called into the net. Service back to the Mustangs.
That was a big, big point for Wekiva.
Cassidy Palmer returns to the game for Juliet Rodriguez, and she will have the next service. Yeah, that disrupts momentum that could have easily taken Evans all the way to the set victory.
Now, Evans had gone from a 2-point deficit to a 4-point lead. They'd scored 5 in a row. So now Wekiva catches a break.
Jones tries to do something cute there and just was off speed there. Service back to the Trojans.
So Wekiva scored 6 points in a row, wound up taking a 20-18 lead.
Next in the rotation for Evans, number 7, Esther Roach.
Evans has scored 5 of the last 6 points, though, and now are 2 points away from set victory. This is Durfus over to Jackson, soft touch. Evans handles it, the attack, no third attack, and Evans will benefit from another miscue from Wekiva.
Set point, Trojans.
As Mark just said, set point, they are down 1-0. This is Desroach, serve Jackson.
I don't think she meant to do that, but he got it over.
The soft tap.
At the net, and it's killed by number 14, Michaela Oates. And that takes us to the end of set number 2. That ties the match at 1-all as the Trojans take a 25-21 victory over the Mustangs in the second set.
So Oates picks up her third kill, and that closes out set 2. We are now tied 1-1 in the 2021 opener between Evans and Wekiva. And thank you for joining us tonight from Mustang Arena. We are tied 1-1. Wekiva Mustangs, the home team, and the Evans Trojans. Wekiva taking the first set, 25-17. Evans set, 25-21. Both victories were of come-from-behind nature. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi on the call and handling the video aspect of the broadcast is the Wekiva High School broadcast production team. So we get ready for set 3.
The Trojans have the opening service of the third set. Leading their rotation once again, number 14, Michaela Oates.
So looking at the stats, Michaela Oates, speaking of Oates, along with Sierra Thomas, both have 2 kills. Nakia Jones and Shannane Sutton, each with a kill for Evans. Opening match for both teams as Oates puts it into play. And that's Molly Durfus. She will set. Jackson with the attack, a low attack. Saved by Evans. Nice job. And give the point to Aviana Hall. She returns with that soft touch into the middle of the Evans defense.
Ariana Hall opens up the third set with the first strike that's called into the net, and so that will, in fact, be the Trojans' point.
Okay, so it looked like Hall scored, but ultimately the refs determine net violation, and Evans takes the first point for the 3rd consecutive set. Make that 2 in a row. Palmer unable to handle the serve.
Oates on the ace. Her 3rd tonight, first of this set.
So this critical set 3 in the opener of the 2021 season for both teams. First 2 points have gone to Evans. Michaela Oates will go back to work and try to extend that lead. Oates the setter as well. Another efficient serve out to the side. It's Jackson. Durfus will have to take it over.
Wow.
And she turns out of sync into a much-needed point for Wekiva.
Service to the Mustangs. Leading the rotation once again for Wekiva, number 3, Molly Durfus. So, yeah, she doesn't get a kill for that, but that was one of those, as you said, Neil, making something out of nothing there. A play of desperation as Durfus picks up the service error, and as Evans should have been ready for that, but they were caught napping. However, the Mustangs give the point right back. Next to serve, Shannane Sutton.
Sutton, the sophomore right side hitter, puts the ball in play. JPEC dives, and unfortunately Jones hits the ball at the wrong angle, and that will cut the lead to 3-2.
Service back to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation for Wekiva, number 5, Dania Jackson. So, yeah, again, the same thing that we saw a couple of services ago, where it was a play that, by all rights, Evans should have won that service, but they just weren't ready for the ball to come right back over as Jackson picks up an ace. Checking into the game for the Mustangs now, number 10, Juliet Rodriguez.
So Jackson on the serve to the backcourt, the back row, and
Evans settles for a free ball, and not even that, as the free ball goes long and over the end line, and a free unearned point for Wekiva. They take the lead for the first time in the 3rd set.
4-3, Evans Wekiva lead. Not sure what exactly happened. Evans just looked like they lost their focus on that one. In the meantime, they have a chance to get another point, even this up. A
nice dig there by Jackson, and then unfortunately Durfus just not able to pull it under control there on the set, and service returns to the Trojans. Next in the rotation for Evans, number 15, Sierra Thomas. So she was not part of the original rotation in the first set, but she joins the rotation here in the 3rd.
As
Short, does it clear the net? No, it does not. It stays on the Evans side, and so that'll be a service error. Checking into the game for Evans, number 5, Miranda Lewis-Jean.
And we got an entry for Wekiva.
Next to serve for the Mustangs, Abiana Hall.
Cassidy Rosario just came in. And so we continue to see what you would expect to see between two teams that are still fairly young in terms of number of games played. As Jones, the soft moving point from the middle of the net, we are tied at 5-5. So both these teams have shown some really nice touch, such as the last play there from Jones, as the ball's put into play again by Jones. We've also seen some really bad returns, such as that one, just not able to get the accuracy down. And so Evans goes back into the lead, 6-5. We are tied at 1-all. In the opener, Jones serving, and she will give a point to Wekiva, 6-6 in the third set. season opener for both teams. And, of course,
next in the rotation for Wekiva, number 1, Emily Harris.
And, of course, it's important to get that first victory. You want to get it out of the way, get off to a good set, good footing for your team. As we continue to see both teams struggling.
Service back to Evans. Next up, Esther Desroche.
Not so much struggling, Mark, just inconsistent. We've seen some really great plays on that serve. It just seems like they come in trends. They'll do 3 or 4 really good serves and then 3 or 4 bad. That's both teams. As this is probably our longest rally of the match, and Wekiva's going to take it.
No, they're not either. That was out of bounds to the side.
Okay. So Evans takes that point and goes up 8-6. We are tied at 1-1 in sets, both teams coming from behind. As Evans continues to serve, and the attack from Rodriguez, no dice, into the net, again swinging at that 90-degree downward angle. Another serve from Desroche. Wekiva handles this, and they'll go on the attack with Rodriguez. And this time, she finds that back row.
Juliet Rodriguez with the Mustangs kill. That's her second tonight. Service returns to the Mustangs.
So a slice and dice return from Rodriguez.
Checking into the game for Wekiva, number 14, Cassidy Palmer, and she'll have the next service.
Cuts the lead from Evans down to 9-7. Cassidy Palmer, as Mark just said, on the serve. The senior puts the ball in play. The attack from Jean. The attack now from...
Nice work there by Rosario, staying on the right side of the net, but Trojans kill by number 3, Michaela Oates.
So Wekiva won only 2 games last season, so obviously they're looking to better that mark. They had a very young team, only a couple players that ever played on varsity. This year they returned 9 players and 10 who have varsity experience.
Miranda Lewis-Jean serves next for Evans.
However, remember, last year was Wekiva's first year for all those players, so they do have more experience. They do look a lot better as Jean puts the ball in play.
Yeah, tough serve receive there as it goes right back over, and then a whiff that the Trojans are able to recover from Sutton. Here's a better-looking attack. It's soft, handled by the Trojans. Solo attack there by Calvo Garcia. Trojans ready for that this time. They haven't been earlier, and Jackson there settles for a free ball. It works out, though, as nobody's home. A little miscommunication there between Oates and Sutton, and the Mustangs get a freebie. Service returns to Wekiva. Jenna Japak in place to serve as libero.
So there's another example of one team making a really good play even within the play, a nice touch, and then losing the communication, and we see a second in a row, which will cut the lead to 10-9.
Yeah, that's just a ball handling error right there. You can't give J-Pack an ace for that because the serve receive was good.
And again, we're not just talking consistent and inconsistent. We're talking they tend to go in a pattern. We'll have 2 or 3 plays of each. And
nice solo kill there.
Oates.
Michaela Oates at the net with the solo kill for the Trojans. Service back to Evans. Next in the rotation for the Trojans will also be Oates.
1-1 sets. Both teams coming from behind to win their sets. Evans now with an 11-9 lead. Michaela Oates with the serve. Palmer unable to settle her feet down and hits the ball out of bounds.
Oates with the ace. So the Trojans now take a 3-point lead for the third set. Again, Evans winless last year. They only, at least if you believe Max Preps, according to their official records, they only played 5 matches last year, which is actually not uncommon because, again, volleyball season was only about 4 weeks long last year. And here we get another unreturned service for Oates.
Yeah, Wekiva went the other way, playing, I believe it was 15 games in 4 weeks.
Yeah, they really managed to pack a lot of games into that abbreviated season. Part of that was helped out by the fact they went to Kissimmee and played in a tournament. That gave them 3 games in the same day. Nice work there
for the Mustangs. I think that was Abiana Hall. Indeed, Hall with the kill for Wekiva. That's her fourth tonight. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, number 3, Molly Durfus. Also back in for Wekiva, number 1, Emily Harris.
So we've talked about Wekiva improving tremendously with the year of experience, and there's an example individually. Hall certainly is looking much more comfortable at that net.
Little surprise there. J-Pac just did get under it, but the Mustangs have to settle for a free ball. Solo attack, and there it is. Sierra Thomas with the solo kill for the Trojans.
Yeah, quick touch.
Service back to Evans, and next up will be number 11, Shannane Sutton.
And that ups the lead to 14-10. That's a critical point for Evans. Wekiva just scored. That's Palmer.
A little miscommunication there between Hall and Durfus, and it costs the Mustangs as it places the ball very poorly for Emily Harris. She did not have a reasonable chance to get there. The Mustangs request their first timeout of set number 3 as Coach Lorenz wants to talk things over and see if they can right the course of this ship. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, voice of the Mustangs, here with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief. And we are about midway through set number 3. Wekiva took the first set, Evans took the second, so we are tied 1-1 for the match. And both of these teams are looking to turn things around from last season. Wekiva with a 2-win season last year, Evans winless last year. Both of these teams would like to start out on a positive note for the 2021 year. And here comes the serve from Sutton.
15-10 is the score in the third set.
Nice looking attack there, but it's Oates that got under that one. Free ball coming to the Mustangs. Poor placement. Did Durfus get it over? Yes, she did. Molly Durfus with a solo kill for the Mustangs. And boy, that was a tough placement to get under that one.
Yeah, right on the sideline and right up against the net.
Checking into the game for the Mustangs, number 10, Juliet Rodriguez. Next to serve will be Dania Jackson.
Yeah, Durfus is the setter, but she shows there she can kill as well.
Yeah, she did not get any help from her teammates there, but made something out of nothing. And that one is off target. The attack there from Esther Desroche, and a free point coming to the Mustangs. They bring it back to within 3 now. So maybe something that Coach Lorenz said during that timeout must have stuck.
Yeah, 2 in a row now out of that timeout scored by Wekiva.
Good looking serve from Jackson there, and a poor set from Evans. They settle for a free ball. See if the Mustangs can take advantage of it
setting,
here.
Hall, back to Wekiva. That's JPEG setting, the libero. Soft touch at the net. Too much soft.
Yeah, they're going to call, that's Juliet Rodriguez touched the net there. Net violation, returns service to the Trojans. Next in the rotation for Evans, number 15, Sierra Thomas. But first, checking into the game for Evans, number 5, Miranda Lewis-Jean.
Thomas, a sophomore outside hitter. And Evans had the biggest lead when Coach Lorenz took that timeout at 5. It was now 4, make it 3. An unforced error there, obviously.
Service back to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation for Wekiva, number 7, Abiana Hall.
Yeah, I think Thomas just got too quick for her own good there. Looked like she really was not in a comfortable pace. In the meantime, though, Hall delivers the serve. 16-13 deficit. And we got the bait.
Esther Desroche picks up the kill for the Trojans. Service back to Evans.
Yeah, referee Dan Heacock says that was out of bounds.
Next
This rotation for Evans, number 3, Nakia Jones. No, indeed, that was in. The Mustangs thought it was going to go out. And it did indeed stay in.
I meant to say Evans was correct in calling it
Jackson didn't even try to make a play on the ball. There's a nice looking attack and a Mustang kill from Juliet Rodriguez.
And that will cut the lead 17-14.
Her third kill of the evening. Next to serve for Wekiva, number 1, Emily Harris. But first, checking back into the game for Wekiva, number 8, Eliza Calvo Garcia.
So the lead continues to alternate between 2 and 3 and 4 points for Evans as Harris delivers. Not a good first touch, but Evans will be able to get it back onto Wekiva's side.
And they settle for a free ball there, though. It looks like Wekiva's not going to do any better.
That's Harris sending it over. Jones will take the attack as well. And
off the mark as that's Nakia Jones sends it askew of the right sideline. Free point to Wekiva, and it's back to a 2-point set.
And that's the closest Wekiva's been since 9-7. So Harris looking to cut that lead one more point. Nice serve at the line, at the net. J-Peck sets a second set. Rodriguez, soft tap. Instead of going for the hard kill, Jones will take it out for Evans, and success.
Trojan kill by number 3, Nakia Jones, her third of the match. Service back to Evans, but first, Madeline Holmes is back into the game for Emily Harris. Next to serve for the Trojans, Esther Desroche.
And now Jones with 3 kills for Evans. Oates and Thomas also with 3 kills. Desroche on the serve. Wekiva attacks. That's Rosario.
Oh, that was almost a lift. Out of bounds there. And, poor placement there as Juliet Rodriguez never had a sporting chance to get to that one. Molly Durfus is back into the game for Wekiva.
1 set apiece. Evans in the white and serving. Esther Desroche, the outside junior hitter. The junior outside hitter on the serve. Season opener for both teams.
Durfus manages to get in there, and battle at the net is won by Louis Jean.
So Wekiva was able to cut the lead to 17-15, 2 points.
The Mustangs request their second timeout of set number 3.
However, Evans runs off 3 in a row and now has a season opener for both teams, so obviously you want to get your season off on the right foot. Get that first victory out of the way, and Evans, Esther Desroche on the serve. This is the attack from Rosario. Out, just a little too long. And that'll up the score to 21-15, Evans' biggest lead of the third set. Wekiva had cut the lead down to 2 at 17-15. 4 in a row, though, now by Evans. So our umpire, Dan Heacock, in conference.
Now, of course, we know that this is not going to be the last set one way or the other. Varsity plays best of 5. So no matter what, we're going to play this set and one more at a minimum.
That was Jenna J-Pack, the libero, and Molly Durfus, the setter for Wekiva, discussing with umpire Heacock. Robert Mueller, our other umpire. And Desroche on the serve, and another unforced error. That's been a underlying theme throughout this match, Mark.
Service back to the Mustangs. Cassidy Palmer is back in for Wekiva. She'll serve next.
So Cassidy Palmer gets the serve, the defensive specialist, outside hitter, senior. And she needs to come up with a couple good serves here. Wekiva needs to cut into this lead. She had the good serve, but unfortunately Evans had a better return.
Miranda Lewis-Jean picks up the Trojan kill next, and she will also have the next service for Evans.
Jean dropping that ball right in the middle of Wekiva's defense. Lead back up to 6 at 22-16. And now Wekiva running out of points to work with. Evans needing only 3 more. A beautiful dig from Jean. She serves, she digs, and she sets up points.
Yeah, that was a dig kill there. I mean, obviously it's not really a kill. That's actually a digging error by the Mustangs, but nevertheless, that was...
Yeah, that's going to be critical, Mark. It looked like the point was going to go to Wekiva.
Well, you know, it's something we've seen from both teams this match, and this is pretty typical of very early season games, is that they don't respond well when the game gets off tempo. Number 15, Sierra Thomas with a tip kill at the net, set point Trojans. So as I started to say a moment ago, you know, the typical cadence of a service is bump, set, spike. You expect 3 touches on each side of the net. And occasionally, either by accident or by design, you don't get that as we get a service error here and a side out to the Mustangs. Next up will be Jenna Japak to serve as libero. And so when that cadence gets disrupted, either by accident or by design, the teams are not responding well to that. They're caught off guard, and they're just not prepared. They're not prepared for the ball to come across until the third touch, and that's not always the case.
And speaking of touch,
Japak picks up the ace for the Mustangs. That's her second tonight.
Yeah, cuts the lead to 24-18. Still quite a bit of work for Wekiva to do if they're going to win this third set. We're tied at 1-1, but they stay alive. Japak with the serve. Oates, soft tap, hit back by Hall, and that's going to do it. Hall.
Michaela Oates picks up the final kill of the set. That's her 4th kill tonight, and it gives the Trojans a 2-1 lead for the match over the Mustangs with a 25-18 victory in the third set.
Yeah, and Evans scored 8 of the last 10 points to pull that third set out. So we'll be back with set 4. Wekiva is going to have to win 2 sets in a row to win the opener.
Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to join us on Thursday. The Mustangs have back-to-back home games in week number 1. Thursday night, they host the Ocoee Knights. JV at 6 o'clock, Varsity at 7:30, and those games also will be live streamed on YouTube and the NFHS Network. Again, this Thursday, the Mustangs host the Ocoee Knights.
Mustang Arena, the site of the 2021 opener for Wekiva Mustangs in the Evans Trojans. We head into set 4 with Evans taking the last 2, a 2-1 lead. And again, both these teams did not do that well last year. Wekiva won only 2 games. Evans went 0-6. So certainly this is a match that both these teams look at and say, hey, we can get a quick victory coming out of the chute, get that first victory out of the way, get some momentum, find our sea legs, so to speak. Wekiva took the first set 25-17. Evans rallied, came back 25-21. Both of those sets were come from behind victories. However, the third set, Evans led from start to finish. Wekiva cut the lead to 17-15. Evans took 8 of the last 10 points, and took a 25-18 victory. So I'm Neil Fisher, along with Mark Barchi, and the broadcast production department headed up by Keith Dickinson, handling the video aspects. So as we get ready for the fourth set, which Wekiva will have to win to avoid losing the match, the volleyball team will be in action on Thursday against Ocoee, here again at Mustang Arena. And then next Tuesday, the 31st, against Apopka. Molly Durfus with the first set, the first serve of this fourth set.
A little trouble here for Evans. They can't get it over in 3. And they do with a free ball, but just not able to mount much of an attack there. Here comes a nice look from Jackson.
Jackson trying to force the issue. And wow.
Nobody's home for Sierra Thomas on the opening kill of the fourth set.
And by the way, Mark, Wekiva has not won either of the first 2 points of any of the first 4 sets yet.
Service goes to the Trojans, leading their rotation again, Michaela Oates.
So Oates with the mistake, service error.
Service back to Wekiva. Next in the rotation for the Mustangs, number 5, Dania Jackson.
And that's the first point in either of the 4 sets that Wekiva has won. The first 2 points of any of the first 4 sets Wekiva has won. Jackson with the low serve. The attack from Jackson. A little too soft. The attack now from Evans. That's Sutton, and too inaccurate. Some good pound, but not accurate.
Yeah, that'll give a free point there to the Mustangs. They take the lead for the fourth set. Again, we play best of 5 in high school varsity. The game is played with rally scoring to 25 points. Neil, you mentioned the introduction of the libero some number of years ago as we get
about 15 years ago. So we are now tied at 2-2. Evans holding a 2-1 lead. And this is a critical point that Sutton serves. Wekiva doesn't want to fall too far behind.
Yeah, Emily Harris there, it would have been Evans' point either way, but she was definitely in the net.
Yeah, so the point I'm trying to make, Mark, is Wekiva's getting off to very slow starts in each of the 3 sets so far. It would just behoove them, make life much easier if they could get a lead, even if it is just 1 point, and that certainly will help move them in that direction.
Aliana Hall picks up the first Mustang kill of the fourth set. Service to Wekiva. Next in the rotation for the Mustangs will also be Hall. So as I started to say a minute ago, you talked about the rule introduction of the libero quite a few years ago at this point, and also around the same time, volleyball changed from side-out scoring to rally scoring as Hall picks up the ace, her second of the match, first of this set. Of course, back in my day in high school, it was side-out scoring, so you had to have the serve in order to score a point, and you only played the sets to 15 as a result of that. Now you score on every service, which is what rally scoring means, and the sets are played to 25. Nice soft touch there from Linnea Preston on the Mustangs kill.
Yeah,
that's her third tonight.
You don't get points for aesthetics, Mark. They all count the same, and Wekiva will take that miscommunication on Evans' side.
Yeah, this is not Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, so you do not get any style points. It is all about where the ball lands. And here Wekiva gets a freebie to take a 6-3 lead for the fourth set. Again, this is a must-win set for Wekiva. If Evans were to win this set, that would seal the match for them. Wekiva, in order to come back, would need to win this set and a tiebreaker.
Yeah,
If
2
we
in a
do go
row.
to a tiebreaker, that would be played only to 15 points instead of 25. And Abiana Hall cannot get over Jackson, who just didn't have the communication or situational awareness there. Side out to the Trojans.
Yeah.
Checking into the game for Evans, number 5, Miranda Lewis-Jean. And next to serve for Evans will be number 15, Sierra Thomas.
Now, Wekiva kept the ball alive, a great dig, but unfortunately they had nowhere to go after the dig. Now they do have the lead as Thomas serves.
Soft comes to J-Pack in the center. To the side, Palmer, a little low, but it clears the net, and Cassidy Palmer has the Mustang kill. Well, again, Neil, we talked about style points. You couldn't do that if you wanted to.
That's Palmer's first kill, but back to the point, Wekiva is in the lead. This is the earliest they've had the lead in any of the 4 sets. And it just makes life so much easier when you're playing from ahead. Even if it is early, even if it is only 11
Free
points
ball
into
sets
a
Wekiva
set.
up really well. Not able to take advantage of it, though. Attack coming back. Harris, again, a miscommunication. That really was better position for Jackson than it was for Harris. And side out to the Trojans. Next, or checking into the game for Wekiva, Madeline Holmes. Next to serve for Evans, number 3, Micaiah Jones.
So Jones will go to the serve. She has 3 kills, no aces. That's J-Peck. At the line, nobody.
Yeah, that's just Palmer and
They all
Preston
looked
there.
at each other and said, you
Yeah.
take it. So 7-6, Wekiva does keep the lead.
And a little
they
too
will
much mustard on that
get a
serve.
break.
That is a donation to the Mustang cause there. Side out to Wekiva. Next up in the service order for the Mustangs, number 14, Cassidy Palmer.
So Palmer will be serving. She has 1 kill. And she gets the ball in, right location.
Yeah, really
at the
poor
net.
placement there on the serve receive. It sets Wekiva up well. Preston with a soft slapper. It's
J-Peck.
returned.
Another soft tap from Evans.
That's
Wekiva.
twice in a row. 1 touches coming over from the Trojans. A little more traditional that time. Palmer handles it. Oh, really, really poor placement there and poor communication. J-Pack didn't have a great set, and then Preston and Jackson compounded it by staring at each other, waiting for somebody to do something. Side out to the Trojans. Next in their rotation, Esther Desroche.
Yeah, and so I'd say the last 5-6 points now we're seeing both teams. Miscommunication is the underlying theme.
Preston just didn't have control of that. So that ties it up. We're back to a new set. 8-8 the score. It's about 9:15 if you're watching this live. So we've been going here for about 15 minutes shy of 2 hours.
We're live from Mustang Arena, home of Wekiva.
Preston with the attack there, nothing doing. And another rough placement. Evans manages to pull a rabbit out of the hat, though. And again, with that unexpected delivery, Durfus just not able to do anything with it.
And so Evans back into the lead for the 3rd time tonight. That's Esther Desroche on the serve. Durfus sets.
There's Jackson.
attacks.
Good look, but nice work getting under that by Desroche. Preston looking for some action there.
Oates, quick and too hard. Or was it in? No, it
Was in.
Well,
Kill
looked like
by
it was
Michaela
out.
Oates. And again, we talked earlier about the fact that neither one of these teams has been particularly good about responding to disruptions to the normal cadence. That was the 2nd touch, not the 3rd. That's a deceptive move there. You're expecting her to set that ball to somebody else, and instead at the last second she changes it into an attack. And here we get a Mustang kill by Dania Jackson.
And that's a very important point for Wekiva. Evans had scored 4 in a row. They've gone from 2 down to 2 ahead.
Trying to get the momentum back on track. Service back to the Mustangs. Next in the rotation to serve as libero, number 4, Jenna J-Pack. So J-Pack has 2 aces under her belt for tonight. We'll see if she can add to that total here. Going to the center. She's going to do just that. Jenna J-Pack, ace number 3.
Well, you called it, Mark, on cue. You think about directing, Mark? You seem to have a way.
Well, if if I could call everything that was going to happen, we'd have a better than 2-15 record from last season. But
So 10-10 the score. Wekiva trailing 2-1. JPEG puts the ball in play.
almost got another ace there. Evans manages to get out of it, but there's Adiana Hall with a solo kill for the Mustangs. And now, just like that, the last couple of services, Wekiva is starting to turn the momentum around, and if they can, now here's the key, and this is where experience comes into play, and that is, can they establish consistency? Well, there we go. Jenna Japak picks up her second ace of this service series, her fourth overall of the night. Checking into the game for Evans, number 6, Liliana Maroney.
So Wekiva took a hard hit, a punch to the mouth, as Evans scored 4 in a row, and they have answered with 4 of their own.
Yeah, Desroche with a couple of times there just did not have the serve
And
receive.
JPEG decides to let that ball go. And
That's wise, as Sutton sends it out of bounds, and the Trojans request their first timeout of set number 4. Timeout, Evans.
And so Wekiva will be looking to up that, increase their streak of 5 in a row when we come back. 13-10 is the lead.
Uh-oh. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. We have a 13-10 match going on here in the fourth. Wekiva has the momentum right now. After struggling to lead early in each of the first 3 sets, Wekiva got off to a decent start, then started to flag in the last several services, but the last 3 or 4 services have demonstrated a renewed momentum for the Mustangs. Evans calling timeout there to try to disrupt that momentum. Free ball, and Holmes can't get under it. Again, with the free balls, and just because it was unexpected, the Mustangs just not ready.
Yeah,
that was a returnable play. I mean, it was a free ball. It wasn't even an attack.
So that'll cut the lead to 13-11. Action at the net. Jackson goes straight to the attack, and she pounds the ball into the ground.
Dania Jackson picks up kill number 5 for the match. Service back to the Mustangs. Emily Harris coming back into the game for Wekiva.
Wekiva trailing 2-1.
Also into the game for Evans, number 2, Kalia Moore.
Wekiva won the first set. They then dropped the next 2.
And we now return to the top of the rotation with Molly Durfus.
And she puts that on the left sideline, excuse me. Jones returns.
Durfus has a hard time getting there, but manages to avoid the net, but has no choice but to create easy pickings for Shannane Sutton, who gets a solo kill for the Trojans.
Yeah, Wekiva's defense was all to the left.
Michaela Oates serves next for Evans.
And the ball was dropped right over on that right side.
Yeah, it's hard to blame Durfus for that one. She had a hard time getting under that at all. It's a miracle she didn't slam into the net.
Speaking of Durfus, she sets, and
that's
the 90-degree slam.
Much cleaner play.
Yeah,
Adiana Hall from Durfus for the Mustang kill.
Hall not only slammed that ball down, got in the right position, but it was a 90-degree angle.
Next in the rotation for the Mustangs, number 5, Dania Jackson.
So just like baseball, Jackson gets the point, and she goes back on the serve. Jackson with the set, the second set.
There's Harris. Good look. Evans gets under it, though. Miscommunication nearly costs them. Well, in fact, it does cost them, as Kalia Moore bounces that one out of the sideline. Mustangs pick up a free point there.
So Wekiva trailing 2-1. It's best of 5. So Wekiva needs to win the set.
Yeah, a Mustang victory in the fourth set would send us to a tiebreaker. A Trojan victory would end the match right there.
Jackson again on the serve.
Oh, swing and a miss by Oates. Another freebie coming to the Mustangs. And again, when the coaches go back and look at the tape, I think on both sides, they're going to really focus on those unforced errors, the unearned points.
Yep.
Points that did not come from kills or aces. And in this case, Jackson has a miscue there. She's a little late on the swing. It sends it into the net on a service error. Service back to the Trojans. Next, we're checking into the game for Evans. Number 7, Esther Desroche. And next to serve for Evans be number 11, Shannane Sutton.
Sutton puts the ball in play. Returned by Jackson. Set. Well, actually, it was sent over by
Durfus is going to settle for a free ball there. Evans not, well, they are going to get an attack off. Jackson.
At the net, Durfus sets. Jackson with the soft tip.
Hall has it.
Beautiful location.
Aviana Hall from Molly Durfus. Picking up the Mustang kill. That's Hall's 8th kill of the night. Service back to the Mustangs. Next to serve for Wekiva will also be Aviana Hall.
So it's 18-13, the largest lead of the third set for Wekiva.
But first, checking into the game for Evans, number 1, Jenny Cheriskar.
So Wekiva did play last Thursday in the St. Cloud preseason classic. They lost both games. As you talked about it, Mark, unforced error.
Yeah, I know an anemic serve there. Didn't put enough mustard on that one. Service returns to the Trojans. Next to substitute in for Evans, number 5, Miranda Lewis-Jean. And next to serve for Evans will be number 15, Sierra Thomas.
So Wekiva lost both of their games in that preseason classic against the University of Orlando and Tahopa Kaliga, which is over in Osceola County as the ball's put into play.
Palmer, crashes into Durfus, and that throws her off just enough that she's not able to make the attack.
And Coach Lorenz, talked about the team, what we've said tonight, a lot more better, the quality of play is better. You can definitely see that experience. As an ace, and now a 5-point lead has been cut to 1, 18-17. Thomas doing the damage on the serve. But Coach Lorenz talked specifically just unforced errors, and to be even more specific, the service errors. As JPEC will send the ball back to Evans.
Yeah, she has no choice but to settle for a free ball there. The attack is off the mark. Yeah, Desroche just didn't have the timing there, and service back to the Mustangs. Emily Harris will be next in the rotation for Wekiva, but first, Alicia Boyer returns to the game for Evans.
Coach Lorenz did, though, mention she has pretty much everybody on this team is playing a new position.
Is it in?
Harris.
We have a tentative signal from the line judge, and they are going to judge it as a service error. Service back to the Trojans. Next up is number 3, Nakia Jones.
I think that was as close to being out as possible.
Yeah, well, it's one of those you could tell the line judge ruled with her heart and then overruled with her head.
So, meantime, the war rages on, and unfortunately, again, miscommunication. I think that was Preston and Palmer bumping into each other, and that cuts the lead to 19-17. So, Coach Lorenz has a number of players, pretty much the whole team, in new positions.
Michaela Oates on the kill. Service back to Evans. Nakia Jones serving now.
And that's part of the reason for the number of miscommunications.
This is getting close to the net. Palmer sends it backwards. Jackson saves it. And Evans sends a free ball right back to the Mustangs. Preston tries to find the back. Evans gets under it, and a desperate attempt there from Jones. Preston again sending it to the back. This time she's got it. Linnea Preston with the Mustangs kill. So the Mustangs trying to tread water here and survive to the end of the fourth set, hanging on by a thread to the lead they established about a third of the way through. Returning to the game for the Trojans, number 10, Zaria Nelson.
Fourth kill for Preston, 20-18 is that lead that Mark spoke of. And Palmer puts it in, nice serve, great return. Action at the net, Jackson goes straight for the attack. Too long. A little too much oomph from Jones, and the lead is up to 21-18.
Dania Jackson picks up the point for the Mustangs.
As you said, Mark, treading water. That was an important point for Wekiva.
Coach Goodwin getting up to the sideline there. Here's an ace! Cassidy Palmer, Mustang ace. And we'll pause for a Trojan timeout, their second timeout of the fourth set. We'll take a quick break here, and we'll be right back.
And welcome back to Mustang Arena, home of the Wekiva Mustangs. Wekiva taking on the Evans Trojans in the season opener. They are down 2-1, but lead the fourth set 22-18. Cassidy Palmer on the serve, and unfortunately, just when Wekiva looked like it was gaining some momentum, scoring two in a row, they give a point back to Evans.
Service returns to the Trojans. Alicia Boyer has the next service.
A little confusion on the substitutions there. I think they've got it together now. Checking into the game for Evans, number 11, Shannane Sutton.
Wekiva scored 3 points in a row to break a 10-10 lead tie. They have led since then. And Esther Desroche will take that service, as Mark mentioned, the outside hitter, junior. Wekiva needing to win. Desroche. This is, couldn't see, well, nobody. Durfus put that ball up, setting it, but no one was home. So the lead is now down to 22-20. Wekiva getting punched in the mouth. We'll see if they'll respond for a third consecutive time. Durfus. Jackson, yes!
Found the perfect spot there that was uncovered. Dania Jackson gets the Mustangs kill.
So
that's her seventh tonight. Service returns to the Mustangs and Jenna Japak.
So high school varsity volleyball, it's best of 5 sets. Wekiva needs to win this as they are down 2-1. Jenna Japak puts the ball in play. Jones.
Oh my, nobody's home there. We've talked about communication problems on both sides, and now set point, Wekiva.
So you mentioned through the first 3 quarters, neither team was really responding. I kind of sum it up as getting punched in the mouth. Wekiva has responded.
Jenna Japak ends the fourth set on an ace, and the Mustangs will stay alive with a 25-20 victory in the fourth set. And they tie the match 2-2.
And so Wekiva takes the last 3 points to close out set 4 with the victory. And once again, they got the punch in the mouth, and they come back and answer Evans. We'll be back for the deciding 5th set.
So that means that we are going to need a tiebreaker to decide this one. The rules of the tiebreaker will have a new coin toss to determine who serves first. And we will also be playing the 5th set to just 15 rather than 25. We'll be back with the conclusion of this opening night's matchup between the Mustangs and the Trojans right after a brief warm-up. Once again, we'd like to invite you to join us on Thursday night. The Mustangs will have their second match of the 15th anniversary season. That is going to be against the Ocoee Knights. It'll be a doubleheader. JV will be at 6 o'clock, followed by Varsity at 7:30. Again, that is this Thursday right here at Mustang Arena, and that will also be live streamed on YouTube and the NFHS network, just like this match.
Mustang Arena is the site. The Wekiva Mustangs in the blue uniforms with the gold numbers. The Evans Trojans in the white jerseys with the green numbers. Season opener for 2021. Thank you for joining us. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi. On the call, the broadcast production department at Wekiva High School, headed by Keith Dickinson, handling the video aspects. And if you can feel some tension and drama in the air, you are not incorrect. You are correct, because we are going to a fifth set. The final set, both teams winning 2 each. Wekiva taking the first set 25-21. Evans answering with 25-21 victories. 25-21 and 25-18 victories. And Wekiva showing something we have not seen in a few years, Mark. Answering the bell. They got punched in the mouth, and they came back and delivered some heavy blows themselves, taking the fourth set 25-20. Evans cut the lead to 19-17 in that fourth set. Wekiva then scored 7 of the next 9 points to close out that fourth victory and take us to a deciding fifth set. So again,
the Mustangs have won the toss and will serve first in the tiebreaker set. Once again, Molly Durfus leads the rotation for the Mustangs.
This is the opener of the 2021 season. Both these teams not really known as volleyball powerhouses. Wekiva winning only twice last year, Evans winning none. So certainly want to get a victory to set a good tone, a positive tone, and build some momentum.
Emily Harris puts the Mustangs on the board for the tiebreaker set. Again, remember, this set will be played only to 15, not to 25.
Yes, and you have to win by 2 points.
Correct.
So Wekiva scores the first point of any set tonight. So I guess that's a good omen coming into this fifth set. That's Jones, Palmer, Durfus trying to send it over. Unfortunately, she was out of sync. Well, the whole team was out of sync, and we are tied at 1-1 in the fifth set.
Service back to the Trojans for the first time in the fifth set. Leading their rotation once again, Michaela Oates.
So Wekiva, as Oates puts it into play, seemed to have trouble in that fourth set for the first half or so with the communication. They seem to have righted that ship heading into this fifth set. We'll see if that continues. As Jackson goes
just
for
a
the
little
kill.
too much.
And Evans takes the 2-1 lead.
Yeah, if that had been another foot shorter, nobody would have been near it.
So a number of players, pretty much the whole team, playing in new positions in terms of their primary position. They come off losing 2 games in the St. Cloud Preseason Classic, and they'll take that unforced error.
Donation to the Mustang cause there. Service back to Wekiva. Next in the rotation for the Mustangs, Dania Jackson.
But this is still a better team than last year as Jackson puts the ball into play. They did go from no experience to 1 year of experience, but
Evans settles for a free ball coming back, and Hall is going to try to make something out of a solo kill. Did she get it? Yes, she did. Aliana Hall picks up the Mustang solo kill, and that is her first of this set, her 9th of the match.
Third lead change, only 5 points into this game. So Wekiva went from having no experience last year to 1 year of experience this year. However, it is just that, only 1 year of experience, so still got
Hall again, she's got it! Aliana Hall! 2 consecutive kills for the Mustangs. That puts her in double figures for the night.
And 3 consecutive points for Wekiva. So once again, the opener for both these teams. And as I've been mentioning, Wekiva, a much better team than last year after getting a year of experience, but a year of experience still is not a lot of experience. On the other hand, Evans has only one senior, only 3 players with any varsity experience. So certainly a win would go a long way towards the learning process or building some confidence and momentum. That's Jackson setting. Durfus with the second set. Palmer comes up. And Thomas, textbook soft tip.
Sierra Thomas with a little help from Sutton. A solo tip kill there.
Yeah, 4-3 in the 5th set of the 2021 opener. Evans with the serve. And that's Sutton.
Here comes Hall. Is it in? Yes, it is. Aviana Hall. Another kill for the Mustangs. She's up to 11 tonight. That picks up the side out. Next in the rotation for Wekiva will also be Aviana Hall.
And so now if you're Wekiva, you can afford to trade points. You have that 2-point lead.
Yeah, Hall has just been terrific in this tiebreaker set. Found the perfect uncovered spot right at the back of the row.
3 kills through the first 8 points.
Oh, she's going to get an ace. Aviana Hall, service ace.
And the Trojans request their first timeout of the tiebreaker set.
And so Wekiva forces that timeout, scoring 3 of 4 and a 6-3 lead in the decisive 5th set of the 2021 opener. And we return to live action. 5th set of the 2021 opener between Evans and Wekiva. Wekiva with a 6-3 lead, make that 7-3. As Evans unable to handle the return. I'm Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi, broadcast production department headed by Keith Dickinson, handling the video aspect, and Aviana Hall, for as great as she's been in this 5th set, having a hand in 4 of those 7 points, makes an unforced error that cuts the lead to 7-4. Evans will now go on the serve. That's Sierra Thomas, the sophomore outside/right side hitter, and she returns the favor. As you like to say, Mark, contributes to the Mustang cause.
Service back to Wekiva. Emily Harris next in the rotation for the Mustangs.
8-4 now the score as Emily Harris, the senior defensive specialist, drops the ball in.
Emily Harris for the Mustang ace.
And so throughout this match for 4.5 sets, we've seen the coaches use their timeouts very smartly, very at the right times, and every time those timeouts at end, they have come back and scored a couple points to stem the tie, but not in this case.
Just a little bit short on the serve from Harris there. Service returns to the Trojans. Checking into the game for Wekiva, Madeline Holmes. Next to serve for the Trojans, number 3, Nakia Jones.
So Wekiva broke a 2-2 tie, scoring 2 in a row. As ball just drops in a little too far for Durfus.
Jones with an ace.
Yeah, Durfus is the Wekiva setter. She's number 3. And I think her teammates thought she was going to be able to get to it, but she just couldn't. It was too far to the left side of her. So Jones brings the ball back in. The libero, J-Peck. Jackson.
Wow, look at that free ball return. Was it luck or was it skill? It doesn't matter. Esther Desroche picks up the kill for the Trojans.
So now Wekiva giving up a couple of points. They're losing some of the momentum, but they still do have a 9-7 lead.
9-8, that was my fault. I didn't put it up.
So you still can afford to trade points. Evans has to put together a couple points at some point, and they just did that.
Cassidy Roach with back-to-back kills, and now the Mustangs will request their first timeout of the tiebreaker set. We are tied 9-9 in set number 5 here on opening night of season 15. We'll be right back.
So the points of streaks continue at Mustang Arena. Wekiva had built a 9-4 lead in the 5th set, the decisive 5th set. Evans comes back. The team in white with the green jersey scored 5 in a row, and we head into the last stage of this 2021 season opener, tied at 9-9. That's Nakia Jones, the junior, with the serve. Return by Holmes. Serve by Holmes. And the kill from the left side. Out of the timeout, Wekiva responds. And they take a 10-9 lead. So this is an important victory for both these teams. Both these teams not known as powerhouses. Wekiva winning only 2 matches last year. Evans did not win. So certainly want to set a tone with the victory. And Wekiva 2 in a row out of the timeout. Oates unable to get the ball over the net. Cassidy Palmer on the serve, giving Wekiva that 2-point lead as we head over 10 double digits. The attack from Oates. Saved by J-Peck. Set. Soft touch by Jackson. And the angle forces the ball to be hit out of bounds by Jones. Great effort, but no control as she hit that ball with one hand while diving. So Wekiva, once again, responding to getting the proverbial punch in the mouth.
And that service is out of bounds. Side outs to the Trojans.
So
next in the rotation for Evans, number 7, Esther Desroche.
So that's disappointing, an unforced error by Wekiva, but they still are in control of this game. A 12-10 lead. They can afford to exchange points. And there's your answer.
Yeah, no, she had to go through the net to get there. Yeah, Dania Jackson for the Mustangs called into the net.
Well, Wekiva now.
Yeah, it was a good look, but she just had way too much momentum coming toward the net there. And yeah, she was a full foot over.
So the serve from Desroche. Evans trailing 12-11.
Oh no, that's tough placement for Durfus there. Did they get it in?
Critical decision.
And the line judge is signaling out, so the Mustangs got away with one there.
Wekiva says thank you. Evans puts their hands over their mouth and disbelief.
Well, wait, hold on. We're going to call for an officials conference.
Okay.
The initial signal is out. No, it's going to be overruled by the referee.
So we are tied at 12-12. 5th set, 2021 season opener between Evans and Wekiva.
Wait, no, it's not either. Okay, so
the point remains with Wekiva.
Okay.
No, it goes back. Okay, it goes back.
We've got a lot of confusion here. I'm not getting a clear signal from the official, and it's gone back and forth several times. So now Jenna J-Pack will have a conference. Team captain is allowed to do that.
Yes, our referee is Dan Heacock, the man standing on the chair. Our other referee, Robert Mueller. So just a quick reminder, Thursday, Wekiva plays Ocoee. That's at home. Next Tuesday, the 31st, Apopka comes to Mustang Arena again. Then Wekiva goes on the road on September 1st, Forest Lake Academy. Lake Buena Vista on Thursday, September 2nd. That's the newest, one of the two newest schools in the Orange County Public School system. And then they return home against Colonial on Thursday, September 9th. And for you football fans, Wekiva got its season underway with the preseason kickoff classic against Miami Norland last Friday. The regular season will officially begin this Friday on the road against Olympia. In the meantime, on Thursday, the boys golf will take on Forest Lake. They play at Zellwood Station Golf Club.
And I think we're going to get an answer here, and the answer is reserve.
Okay, so a lot of discussion, and nothing changes.
So the official signal will now be a reserve of the previous service. That resets the score to 11-12.
So I'd really like to know what Jenna JPEG said to Mr.
Well, they brought the line judge over, and I think the line judge just didn't get a clear view of it. So,
well, in the meantime, the lower wage is on. Speaking of JPEG, she saves over to Durfus, who sets,
and she does.
Jackson scores.
Linnea Preston on the Mustangs kill.
Preston.
Service back to Wekiva, and Jenna J-Pack will serve next. That one was clear as a bell. She managed to stay out of the net. That was the only real danger there, was that she had to get too close to the net to do it.
And now Michaela Oates is discussing with Dan Heacock, and Robert Mueller has been called over, or at least he's been asked to add.
Yeah, well, and it's understandable why anybody would be confused over the score because it changed about 13-11 is correct, though. That's been verified by the scorekeeper.
Yeah, and Evans needs to score 4 in a row.
There's Hall. Good look. Handled, though, by Desroach. Coming back the other way. And, yeah, Mustangs don't want anything to do with that.
And so now,
match points, Mustangs.
As you just heard Mark announce, Wekiva is on match point. This would be a hard-fought victory. Evans tied the score after being down 9-4 at 9-9, but Wekiva scored 5 in a row. And there it is! Wekiva gets its first victory of the 2021 season in as many opportunities. A critical victory for Wekiva to build some momentum and confidence.
The Mustangs pick up a 15-11 victory in the tiebreaker set, and that gives them a 3-2 match score to open up season 15. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone, thank you for coming out to support your Mustang and Trojan athletes. Special thanks also to those of you who tuned in on YouTube or the NFHS network. Your leading stats for this set: for the Trojans, 4 kills and 1 ace for Nakaya Jones, 3 kills in the books for Esther Desroach, 2 kills and 1 ace for Shannane Sutton, 3 kills for Alicia Boyer, and then leading their team, 7 kills and 1 ace for Sierra Thomas, 6 kills and 5 aces for Michaela Oates, 2 kills also for Louis Jean. As for the Mustangs, 1 kill for Rosario, 1 kill and 2 aces for Emily Harris, 4 aces and 2 kills for Molly Durfus, 5 aces for Jenna J-Pack, 7 kills and 1 ace for Dania Jackson, 6 kills for Linnea Preston, 1 kill for Eliza Calvert-Garcia, 3 kills for Juliet Rodriguez, 1 kill and 2 aces for Cassidy Palmer, and leading her team for this match, Abiana Hall with 11 kills and 3 aces. Once again, we appreciate coming out to support your Mustang and Trojan athletes, or for tuning in online. We will see you in just 2 days. Thursday, coming up, the Mustangs host the Ocoee Knights. That will also be live streamed on YouTube and the NFHS network. For those of you in the arena, please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Those of you tuning in, thanks for making us a part of your evening. We will see you on Thursday. Good night from Mustang Arena.
Once again, we appreciate you tuning in. We will see you on Thursday night. On behalf of Neil Fisher, this is Mark Barchi, voice of the Mustangs, sports information director and executive producer of Wekiva Sports on YouTube and the NFHS Network. This has been a presentation of Wekiva High School in association with Orange Technical College, both a proud part of Orange County Public Schools. Good night from Mustang Arena.